Picture this. It is a totally normal Tuesday. You walk into the living room, ready to give your fluffy little dictator their evening serving of premium wet food. You shake the bag. You make that weird kissing noise we all do. But nothing. Absolute silence. Your cat has completely vanished from the face of the earth. Panic sets in. You are looking under the bed, behind the curtains, and even in the refrigerator. We have all been there, guys. The sheer terror of a missing cat is a rite of passage for any cat parent. But it begs the question, why do they do this? Are they doing it just to spite us? Did your cat finally realise they are a god and ascend to another dimension? Or did they just physically break? Today, we are uncovering the hilarious truth behind why cats disappear without a trace. And most importantly, I am going to give you the ultimate, foolproof action plan on what to do to get your runaway kitty back home safely. Before we dive into the feline mystery, drop down into the comments right now and tell me, what is the name of your little furry hooligan, and what is the weirdest place they have ever hidden? Let's go! To understand why our cats turn into furry little escape artists, we have to look back at their wild ancestors. I know, looking at your chunky boy sleeping belly up on your laptop, it is hard to imagine him as a fierce predator. But underneath that soft, squishy exterior beats the heart of a tiny tiger. In the wild, cats are solitary hunters. They do not have a pack to protect them. This means they are both the mighty predator that stalks the mouse and the potential prey for something bigger. Because of this dual nature, a cat's primary survival strategy is stealth. When they feel overwhelmed, tired, or just need a break from your constant desire to kiss their little forehead, their instinct tells them to find a small, dark, and completely hidden space. They are deeply territorial creatures who map out every single inch of their environment. So, when they disappear, they are usually just following millions of years of evolutionary programming that says, if nobody can see me, nobody can bother me. Now, let's break down exactly why this happens in our modern homes and how to outsmart their wild instincts. So, let's start with the absolute most common scenario. You are walking around your apartment, shaking the treat bag, and sounding like a crazy person. Your cat has simply vanished into thin air. Poof! Gone. But here is the hilarious truth. Your furry little ninja hasn't actually left the building. Cats are absolute masters of discovering the most mathematically impossible hiding spots in your home. We are talking about the tiny gap behind the washing machine, the top shelf of a closet you haven't opened since 2019, or somehow physically melting into the springs underneath your sofa. Why do they do this? Are they plotting our demise in secret? Not exactly. Because of their predator-prey instincts, having a dark, enclosed space where nothing can sneak up on them is literally the ultimate feline luxury. It is like a 5-star spa resort for their nervous system. So, before you call the FBI and report a missing feline, grab a very bright flashlight, get down on your hands and knees, and start looking for those glowing laser eyes in the dark corners of your house. Usually, they are just sitting there, completely ignoring your panic, wondering why you are making so much noise. They just needed a break. Now, let's talk about the stress vanish. You know the drill. You invite a few friends over for dinner, or maybe the dreaded repairman comes to fix the sink. The doorbell rings and whoosh! Your cat evaporates faster than my money on payday. Cats are creatures of extreme habit and routine. To a cat, a new person in the house is not a fun visitor. It is a giant, loud, unpredictable alien invading their carefully marked territory. And let's not even talk about the ultimate enemy, the vacuum cleaner. The sheer noise and chaos of daily human life can easily overwhelm their sensitive hearing and delicate nerves. When a cat feels stressed, they don't sit down and talk about their feelings with a therapist. They hide. They will wedge themselves behind the water heater and refuse to come out until the perceived threat has been gone for at least 3 hours. If your cat disappears during a noisy event, do not try to drag them out of their safe space. That will only break their trust in you. Let them be the introverts they are. Once the house is quiet again, leave a few of their favourite smelly treats near their hiding spot. They will emerge when they feel brave enough to reclaim their kingdom. But what if the hiding isn't happening inside? What if they actually slipped out? Let's discuss the call of the wild, also known as the romantic escape. If your cat is not spayed or neutered, I can guarantee you that love is in the air, and it is making them act like rebellious teenagers. When spring rolls around, an intact cat's hormones go into absolute overdrive. An unneutered male cat can smell a female in heat from literal miles away, and when he smells her, his brain turns off, and his only mission in life becomes breaking out of Alcatraz to go find his Juliet. Female cats in heat are just as bad. They will scream at the door, roll on the floor, and wait for that one split second when you open the door for the pizza delivery guy to dart out into the night. This biological drive is incredibly powerful and overrides all their normal fears of the outside world. This is one of the biggest reasons cats vanish for days at a time. The absolute best way to prevent this specific type of disappearance is simple. Get your pets fixed, guys. It calms them down, keeps them healthier, and stops them from joining a street gang of romantic wanderers. Sometimes the escape is a total accident. We like to call this the curiosity killed the screen door syndrome. You have an indoor cat who usually just sits at the window, chattering at the birds and judging the neighbours. They seem perfectly content being a pampered indoor prince. But cats have an incredibly high prey drive. Imagine a really fat, juicy moth buzzing right against the window screen. Your cat's inner lion takes over. They lunge for the bug, hit the screen, and suddenly the screen gives way. Or maybe you left the balcony door open just a tiny crack to get some fresh air, and they squeeze through chasing a fly. The tragic comedy here is that the moment they fall or jump out, the prey drive vanishes and sheer terror sets in. The outdoor world is loud, smelly, and terrifying for an indoor cat. They didn't mean to leave. They just made a terrible miscalculation. In these cases, the cat is almost always hiding extremely close to your house. They are usually frozen in fear under a nearby bush, under a parked car, or tucked into a window well. They are too scared to even meow back at you. This requires a very specific type of search strategy, which we will get into shortly. If you have a cat that is allowed to go outdoors, you face a completely different set of vanishing problems. Let's talk about territorial disputes and neighbourhood bullies. Your cat might think they own the street, strutting around like a tiny mafia boss, but the feline neighbourhood is a complex political landscape. A new, bigger, tougher cat might move in 3 houses down. Suddenly, your cat's usual patrol route is blocked by a giant, scarred tomcat who does not want to share. When a cat gets bullied or chased out of their own territory, their instinct is to run and hide, sometimes far away from their usual comfort zone. They might get chased for several blocks and then get disoriented or too frightened to make the journey back past the bully's house. If your usually punctual outdoor cat doesn't come home for dinner, a turf war is a very likely culprit. You need to expand your search radius and start asking your neighbours if they have seen any new, aggressive cats hanging around. Sometimes your poor kitty is just waiting on top of a random fence 2 streets over, hoping you will come act as their personal bodyguard to escort them safely back home. Here is a topic that is a bit sad, but incredibly important for every cat parent to understand. The sick leave. There is a very old, very persistent myth that says cats will purposefully leave the house to go away and die in peace. Let's bust that myth right now. Cats do not understand the concept of death in the way humans do. However, they do understand when they feel weak, vulnerable, and in pain. Going back to their wild instincts, A sick or injured animal is an easy target for predators. So, if your cat is feeling unwell, their brain screams at them to find the deepest, darkest, most inaccessible hiding spot possible to recover in safety. They aren't trying to spare your feelings, they are trying to survive. If your cat suddenly disappears inside the house and refuses to come out for meals, or if your outdoor cat vanishes for a day or two, illness or injury is a major red flag. When you do finally locate them, pay very close attention to their behavior. Are they lethargic? Are they refusing their favorite treats? Are they grooming themselves? If a cat hides because of sickness, finding them is only step 1. Step 2 is an immediate, non-negotiable trip to the veterinarian. Now, for a reason that might actually hurt your feelings more than anything else. The secret second family. Yes, guys, your cat might be cheating on you. This is a hilarious and frustrating reality for many people with outdoor cats. You buy them the expensive grain-free food. You buy them a heated bed. But one day, they just stop coming home as often. They vanish for a week, and when they return, they aren't even hungry. What is going on? Well, cats are magnificent manipulators. Your cat likely wandered down the street, looked through a neighbour's glass door, and gave them the most pathetic, wide-eyed, "I am a starving orphan" look they could muster. The neighbour, thinking they are a hero, puts out a bowl of premium tuna. Boom! Your cat just acquired a summer home. Some cats will literally maintain 2 or 3 different households, collecting meals and pets from multiple gullible humans who all think they own the cat. If your cat is missing but looks incredibly well fed when they finally show up, you might want to attach a paper collar to them with a note saying, "This cat has a home. Please stop feeding him tuna. He is getting fat." It is a hilarious truth of cat ownership. Moving to a new house is one of the most stressful things a human can do. But for a cat, it is a complete shattering of their reality. Cats are profoundly attached to places, sometimes even more than they are attached to people. They have spent years rubbing their cheeks on your door frames, claiming every square inch as their property. When you pack them up and move them across town, they do not understand that this new building is their home now. If a cat escapes shortly after a move, they will almost always try to walk back to the old house. This is a very common reason for cats disappearing without a trace. Their internal GPS is telling them to go back to the direction they know. This is why it is absolutely critical to keep your cat locked strictly indoors for at least 3 to 4 weeks after moving to a new home. You have to give them time to spread their scent and realize that their food bowl and litter box are permanently in this new location. If your cat does escape after a move, your search efforts need to be focused not just on the new neighborhood, but along the exact route between your new house and your old house. They are on a mission. Okay, the worst has happened. You know for a fact your cat got outside, and they are nowhere to be found. What do you do in the immediate aftermath? Step 1 is the hardest. Do not panic. I know your heart is racing, but running around screaming their name at the top of your lungs is the worst thing you can do. Remember what we said about scared cats? They go into stealth mode. We call this the silence radius. An indoor cat that escapes is usually completely terrified of the outdoor sensory overload. They will find the closest possible hiding spot, usually within a 5-house radius of your home, and they will freeze. They will not meow, they will not come when called, and they will not move, even if you are standing 2 feet away from them. They are in survival mode. Knowing this completely changes how you need to search. You are not looking for a cat that is walking around. You are looking for a statue. You need to calmly and methodically check every single bush, look under every parked car, check inside open garages, and look down into basement window wells. Think like a scared prey animal. Where is the nearest, tightest, dark hole? That is where your cat is waiting. Because your cat is likely frozen in fear and hiding in the shadows, searching during the bright afternoon sun is often a waste of time. This brings us to one of the most effective tricks for finding a lost cat, the flashlight trick. You want to conduct your most intense physical searches when it is dark outside. Grab the absolute brightest, most powerful LED flashlight you own. Wait until the neighborhood quiets down, usually late at night. Walk very slowly around your property and the immediate neighbors' yards. Instead of looking for the shape of a cat, hold the flashlight at your eye level and slowly sweep the beam across the dark spaces under bushes, decks, and cars. You are looking for one specific thing: eye shine. A cat's eyes have a reflective layer called the tapetum lucidum, which catches light and bounces it back like twin lasers. You will spot those glowing green or yellow orbs long before you ever see their fur. When you do spot the eyes, do not shine the light directly in their face for too long, as it might spook them. Keep the beam slightly lowered and speak to them in your softest, most reassuring, "good kitty" voice to let them know it is you. While you are physically searching, you also need to turn your home into a giant feline beacon. Cats navigate the world largely through their incredible sense of smell. But let's bust a huge internet myth right now. Do not put their dirty litter box outside. I know you have seen this advice all over Facebook, but zoo psychologists and pet detectives strongly advise against it. A dirty litter box doesn't just smell like your cat, it smells like cat territory. Putting it outside can actually attract aggressively territorial stray cats or predators like coyotes and foxes right to your doorstep, which will terrify your hiding cat even more and force them to run further away. Instead of the litter box, you want to use scents that represent safety, comfort, and you. Take your dirtiest, sweatiest gym clothes, the t-shirt you slept in last night, or your cat's favourite fleece blanket, and hang them outside on your porch or bushes. You want to create a scent trail of home that catches the wind. If your cat is hiding nearby, but is too disoriented to find the exact door, smelling their favourite human's stinky socks might be exactly the compass they need to find their way back to the porch. Scent is great, but let's be honest, the way to a cat's heart is through their stomach. Setting up a food trap is a critical step in getting your runaway kitty back. But a bowl of dry kibble isn't going to cut it. You need the stinkiest, most highly aromatic food you can legally acquire. I am talking about cheap, oily, canned tuna, sardines, or heated up wet cat food. The stronger it smells, the better. Place this food in a safe, somewhat sheltered spot near the door they escaped from. However, there is a catch. If you leave food out overnight, you are likely to feed every raccoon, possum, and neighbourhood stray before your cat gets a chance. This is where humane traps come in. You can usually rent these from local animal shelters or rescue groups for a small deposit. You bait the trap with the stinky tuna and set it near your house. Yes, you might accidentally catch a confused raccoon first, but humane traps are often the only way to safely capture a cat that is too traumatized and panicked to let even their owner pick them up. It feels a bit extreme, but it is one of the most successful methods for recovering skittish indoor cats. Let's go old school for a minute. In the age of smartphones, we forget the power of simple paper and tape. Creating highly visible, neon-coloured flyers is still one of the absolute best ways to find a missing cat. But there is a right way and a wrong way to make a flyer. Don't write a novel. People driving by in cars only have 3 seconds to read it. Use a massive, bold font that says, "Lost Cat." Include a very clear, large, colour photo of your cat. Note any distinct features like half a tail or wears a pink collar. Offer a reward, but don't state the amount, as this can attract scammers. Put your phone number in huge numbers. But putting up flyers isn't enough. You have to do the legwork. Talk to the people who are actually out in your neighborhood every day. Talk to the mail carrier, the delivery drivers, and especially the neighborhood kids. Kids notice everything. Hand them a flyer and tell them to keep their eyes peeled. Your goal is to turn your entire street into a massive neighborhood watch program focused entirely on finding your fluffy fugitive. The more eyes you have looking, the higher your chances of a happy reunion. I want to take a quick time out to talk about the ultimate preventative measure. If you are watching this and your cat is currently safe on your couch, listen closely. You must microchip your cat. There is a huge myth among cat parents that says, "My cat never goes outside, so they don't need a microchip or a collar." That is exactly the mindset that leads to tragedy. Accidents happen. Doors get left open, screens break, emergencies force you out of the house. An indoor cat without a microchip or an ID collar is virtually impossible to identify if someone else finds them and takes them to a shelter. A microchip is a tiny device the size of a grain of rice, injected under the skin. It holds a unique ID number tied to your contact info. It cannot fall off like a collar. If your cat gets lost and ends up at a vet clinic, the first thing they do is scan for a chip. It is the absolute cheapest, easiest, and most effective insurance policy you can buy for your pet. If your cat isn't chipped, pause this video, call your vet, and make an appointment right now. I am serious. It could literally save their life. Timing is everything when you are searching for a lost cat. If you are exhausted from walking around all afternoon, you need to change your schedule. Cats are crepuscular creatures. This is a fancy zoology word that means they are most active during the twilight hours, specifically dawn and dusk. In the wild, this is when their prey is active, and the lighting is perfect for their specialized eyes. If your cat is hiding outside, dawn and dusk are the times they are most likely to finally break their cover, stretch their legs, and look for food. Set your alarm for 4:30 a.m. Yes, it hurts, but this is the golden hour. The neighborhood is completely silent. There are no cars, no screaming kids, no barking dogs. This is when you want to be out walking slowly, shaking the treat bag very gently and softly calling their name. Because it is so quiet, your cat is much more likely to hear you, and more importantly, they are much more likely to feel safe enough to actually meow back. Many lost cats are recovered in the quiet, misty hours of the early morning. Be patient, be quiet, and let their natural biological clock work in your favor. While you are physically walking the streets at dawn, you also need to wage a digital campaign. Social media is an incredibly powerful tool for finding lost pets. But don't just post on your own Facebook wall, where only your aunt and your high school friends will see it. You need to target locally. Join every single local community group, neighborhood watch page, and lost and found pet group for your specific city and county. Post that clear photo and your contact info. But there is another app that is arguably even better, Nextdoor. This app is specifically designed to connect people who live in the same immediate neighborhood. When you post a lost cat alert on Nextdoor, it goes directly to the phones of the people living on your street and the streets adjacent to you. These are the exact people who might see your cat darting under their porch. Ask your neighbors to please check their security cameras and ring doorbells. Sometimes a quick glimpse of a cat on a night vision camera at 3 a.m. is the only clue you need to figure out exactly which yard they are hiding in. Use the power of the internet to blanket your neighborhood. Let's say a miracle happens. You are out with your flashlight and suddenly you spot them. Your cat is huddled under a neighbor's car. Your heart leaps. Your instinct is to scream their name, run towards them and scoop them into a giant hug. Stop. Do not do that. I cannot stress this enough. Do not chase a frightened cat. If your cat has been outside for a while, they are in a state of high anxiety. They might not even recognize you immediately in the dark. If you run at them, their brain registers you as a predator attacking, and they will bolt. And they are much faster than you. Instead, you need to employ the art of the sit and wait. Stop moving. Crouch down very low to the ground so you look small and non-threatening. Do not make direct eye contact, as this is a sign of aggression in cat language. Speak in a very soft, high-pitched voice. Toss a few highly fragrant treats gently in their direction. You have to let them come to you. It might take 5 minutes, or it might take an hour of you sitting on the cold concrete. But patience is the only way to coax a traumatized cat out of hiding without sending them running off again. Once you have your kitty back, or if you want to prevent this nightmare from ever happening in the first place, we need to talk about indoor enrichment. Why do indoor cats want to escape so badly? Often it is because they are incredibly, mind-numbingly bored. A house is a safe environment, but it can also be a very sterile one for a creature built to hunt, climb, and explore. If you don't provide them with acceptable outlets for their wild instincts, they will try to find them outside. You need to catify your house. Get a tall cat tree so they can climb and look down on their territory. Install window hammocks so they have cat TV to watch the birds safely. Play with them daily using wand toys to satisfy their need to hunt and kill something. Give them puzzle feeders so they have to use their brains to get their food. A tired, mentally stimulated cat is a happy cat. When a cat feels like their indoor territory provides everything they need, entertainment, high vantage points, and plenty of interactive play, the urge to bolt out the front door decreases dramatically. Make the inside more interesting than the outside. Now, some of you might be thinking, okay, I will just buy a harness and take my cat for walks to satisfy their curiosity safely. This is a great idea in theory, but let's talk about the hilarious reality of harness training a cat. It is not like walking a dog. If you put a harness on a cat for the first time, they will undergo a sudden, dramatic paralysis. They will fall over on their side and act as if the harness weighs 1,000 pounds and has broken their spine. It is a spectacular theatrical performance. You have to train them incredibly slowly, letting them wear it inside for just a few minutes a day with lots of treats. And when you finally do get them outside, you aren't walking the cat is walking you. You will spend 45 minutes standing perfectly still while they intensely sniff a single blade of grass. If a leaf blows by too fast, they might panic. Harness training is fantastic for safe outdoor time, but you have to manage your expectations. It takes immense patience. But it is 1,000,000 times better than letting them roam free and dealing with the panic of a missing pet. Just prepare to look very silly in your front yard. Finally, the reunion. You did it. You sat on the sidewalk, you tossed the tuna, and your beautiful, dusty, slightly smelly cat is finally back in your arms. Bring them inside, lock the door, and take a deep breath. But the journey isn't quite over. The very first thing you need to do, after giving them a safe, quiet space to decompress with food and water, is book a vet appointment. Even if they were only gone for a day, you don't know what they ate, what dirty water they drank, or if they got into a scuffle with a stray animal. They need to be checked for fleas, ticks, and internal parasites. Once the vet gives them a clean bill of health, it is time for an audit of your house. How did they get out? Is there a loose window screen? Does the front door not latch properly? Fix the breach immediately. After all the stress and tears, shower them with love. Yes, they gave you grey hairs. Yes, you spent your weekend shaking a box of treats in the rain. But when they finally curl up on your lap and start purring, you realise you would do it all over again in a heartbeat. Because that is what we do for our furry family members. And there you have it, fellow cat parents. Now you know exactly what is going on inside that mysterious, fluffy head when they decide to pull a disappearing act. From their wild predator instincts forcing them under the sofa, to the absolute necessity of midnight flashlight searches, you are now armed with the ultimate knowledge to keep your kitty safe and get them back if they wander off. Let's be real, our cats drive us absolutely crazy sometimes. They ignore our expensive toys, they wake us up at 3 a.m. with the zoomies, and they occasionally escape just to give us a heart attack. But despite all the chaos, we love these little tyrants more than anything. If this video helped you understand your cat a little better, or if you just enjoyed the feline facts, please smash that like button. It really helps the channel. Don't forget to subscribe and share this video with another cat lover. You might just save them a lot of panic someday. Before you go, tell me in the comments, what is the most ridiculous thing your cat has ever done to scare you? I read all of them. Until next time, give your kitty an extra treat from me. Bye!